everyone, Overquake here, playing Farming Simulator 2013. This episode I think we're going to try something different, something that I don't usually do. We'll get to that in a minute. How's everybody doing? We are approaching the end of a harvest, and this is going to be really exciting. I'm going to fill up this tipper and go dump it off, and then once that's all full, we're going to get to our next little experiment. I've got something I want to try out this time, and we'll see how it goes. I accidentally stopped there. Let's get back up here. There we go. We're going to try this out in just a second when this tipper's all full. Okay guys, as we fill up this tipper, we're going to go ahead and dump it back. We only got 2% left to go. I think we got enough room. Yeah, we should be able to finish it off on this row. And this is the last field of the harvest, which was kind of a mixed harvest, a bunch of different crops. And I got out of alignment there. And this is not only the last field of our harvest, but it is also probably second to last load for this harvest. It looks like I think I'm gonna have another tipper and a half full of corn here before we're done with this harvest. So I know at the end of last episode I said I was gonna just go ahead and wait till the very end of this harvest, but there was something I wanted to do first. Fun little experiment, something I never ever do, and something I wanted to try out. Oh, while I was switching out headers, I sort of accidentally got that header kind of stuck inside the wall of one of our big barns, so yeah, I had to reset that header. That was gonna be, I knew that was kind of gonna be a pain to switch out from one header to the other in the middle of that harvest, and it kind of was. We've got our two kind of multi-purpose cultivator, seeder, and fertilizer trucks. We've got both of ours working hard right now on seeding the new crop, which I think is going to be canola, if I remember right. Check that out here. Let's yeah, that's right, canola. We've got a seeder here working, and this seeder here is doing that last little strip. So that's what we got working right now. I do want to take this tipper up here and get it just as close as I can without being in the way. And I kind of want to aim for about the middle of the field. I don't know where that is exactly, but somewhere here-ish. Let's just go ahead and check on this guy. Yeah, he does have just a couple more that he's got to go through to finish off that field. What I'm going to do is I'm going to there we go, get that going. What I wanted to do was I wanted to go ahead and manually harvest, which isn't something that I ever really do. I'm always driving the tipper. I'm never harvesting myself. Not something I really ever do. And I thought it might be fun to try this way out. I don't know. See, I got it yelling at me because I'm going too fast. And go speed 4, the harvesting speed. What I've noticed is that the AI hired workers, they do a really good job of driving perfectly straight up and down the rows. They do miss a little bit. You can see a chunk right over there. They do miss a little bit when they're doing their turns at the end of rows, but that's not really a big deal. Oh, this is kind of a useful view, because it kind of shows me that I can over just a little more. I don't know if that's practical, but, and it's certainly probably not interesting for the video to look at this view, but wow, that's really kind of makes it easy. I like that. Okay, so there we're driving right by our tipper. What I'm going to do is come over here and shut off the harvester. Go ahead and dump out what we got. Since we're at 88%, we can go ahead and empty out what we've got, and then we won't fill up. And so what I was thinking was if I park the tipper in the middle of the field, and halfway into the field, when I'm getting kind of full, I can go ahead and stop here and unload, and then I'm not going to end up kind of filling up at a bad spot. This way I was thinking I might be able to control when I get, I don't know. I mean, I get to pick when I unload this guy, and maybe that could work. I don't know, let's go get back at it, get more corn. Corn does seem to have a really good like harvest per acre. Like, it seems to be really pretty efficient, and I don't know, and that makes me wonder, is that why so many people use it for this, like biogas, the silage? I mean, I've heard that's kind of the end game for a lot of people, is planting corn everywhere and having one of those foraging wagons that just sort of turns corn into biomaterial and then lets it ferment, turns that into biogas. And I guess that's one of the very, very best ways to make money, although that's kind of a multi-step process. But that's something we'll definitely experiment with later. We're just not ready for that right now. Right now when we harvest corn, we're actually getting ears of corn and going to sell those at the market. Let people make some corn on the cob, turn it into some high fructose corn syrup, whatever people want to do with it. Use it as a filler in dog food? Yeah, sure. We're not above dog food. Anybody who buys our corn, it's okay with us. Wouldn't that be an interesting world where farmers actually had a say in what you did with it? I don't know, maybe this is a thing. Like, no, I'm Joe Farmer, and I'm not going to sell my soybeans to you because you're going to turn it into, I don't know, you're going to turn it into biodiesel, and I'm against biodiesel because I think it's taking away oil jobs. I mean, if there's some political motivation, do you have that kind of control over your sales of your crops? I don't know, maybe if you're just an independent one-man, or small family farmer, maybe you can do that. But if you're selling all of your crops to a co-op, and that co-op is, selling like a whole town's worth of crops all to the highest bidder, I guess you kind of lose your control that way, just by entering into those kind of agreements. I don't know. Listen, I'm making a bunch of assumptions about farming. An expert I am not an expert about, so take my opinions with a grain of salt. Don't count on me. I don't really know the answer. Sure, I'm from Indiana, and I see a lot of farming going on around me, but I don't know anything about it myself. So, it is summertime right now. We're approaching the end of June, It's getting close to July now. You know, fireworks are for sale everywhere, and man, it is getting hot. My house is under 3 really big maple trees, and maple trees? I don't know. They're under 3 big trees. Let's do that. My house is under 3 big trees. I don't think they're maple. I take that back. And it's really kind of, you know, really efficient, but right now the shade can't keep up with the temperatures. In fact, my air conditioner can't even keep up with the temperatures. I see the temperature climb throughout the day, and not really able to control it. The air conditioner just runs full blast as often as it can, and just not cutting it. It's just not cutting it, which is kind of unfortunate. Now, I guess I don't have to worry about it much other than the weekends when I'm here during the day. But during the week it's bad too, because my work can't, it's hot at work too. Give it about 11 a.m. it starts just baking in my office. It's a really super old building. It's crazy. But at least at home I can sit underneath the fan or whatever. I'm trying to do my best, do things like closing the curtains in the morning. I don't know, trying to be efficient, trying to think of ways to keep this house cool. Being in the shade with the trees usually works magic, but this last week or so, no, I just can't keep it cool. That's unfortunate. So anyway, Farming Simulator. We dipped below 600,000, and that was mostly from hired workers, our expenses with this last harvest. But let me show you what we've collected so far. A little over 85,000 in wheat, almost 150,000 barley, and we've already got almost 140,000 in corn, and still plenty to go. We still gotta finish up this. So we're only like halfway through this field. And this was our second cornfield. We had another cornfield that is completed now. So this harvest is going really well, other than I can't drive in a straight line. You can see some zigzags when I try to do it. But I think the harvest is going well. I really have no idea. I haven't got out the calculator to figure out how much we've made from this current harvest. I don't really know. I haven't really looked into that. I'm kind of going to be as surprised as you when we go and sell all of this, because I don't know how much we're going to get for this. But I do know it's getting us closer to that 1.2 million goal, which is our next immediate goal. That's what we're looking for, is we're looking for that wind turbine. My hope is that the wind turbine can keep up with all the hired worker costs so that we're continually our bank balance is continually rising instead of falling. I don't know. We'll see if this all works out for us, but it'll be an interesting experiment anyway. I'm not really sure how much. That's more numbers I have not yet crunched. So when I'm in the middle of a harvest, I'm typically running a harvester and 2 of the seeder cultivator things. Seeder cultivator, fertilizer, tractors. So I'm running 3 hired workers all at the same time. When I am doing that, my bank just shoots down. Oh, I bet you this guy's done. Let's go find out. Not you, but the other one. This one. Hey, you're all done. That field looks pretty. Great job. Safety first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drive him up to the field we're working on now, which is the last field that we haven't started seeding yet, so that he can be working in the background while we're harvesting. This is going to be... Sorry for just the driving, but... Oh well. We got to get this done too. That's really neat. I've never really looked at that before. All the little spinning blades there on an axle. Kind of interesting. I should stop driving like that because I can't actually see what's in front of me. And I think one of the primary task as a driver is to look at what's coming up, look forward. And since I can't do that, I can't see what's going on. Like, you might as well be driving looking out the side because you can't really see if you're gonna hit anything anyway. There's another one of ours doing that field. That was our second to last cornfield, and that guy still has a lot more to seed over there. But I really love this combination where you've got on the back, you've got the seeder / cultivator, and then on the front you've got the fertilizer. It's a great tool. I really recommend this. Now, there's some trade-offs to this. You haven't got the biggest cultivator, you haven't got the biggest seeder, you haven't even got the best and biggest fertilizer. What you've got is small versions of each, but what you're trading for that is convenience. It is really easy to just turn this guy on and walk away, knowing that he'll do all the jobs. Now, he won't be as efficient as a really big cultivator, and he won't be as efficient as a really big fertilizer. Hey, while we're at it, this is 68% full. While we're at it, we're going to move this guy a little bit closer so we can kind of scoot him up as we need him to move around. And we can go ahead and run over here, back into the case. And let's keep harvesting. Pipe in. Just turn around and go back to where we left off. Which I think I can see it right there. Yeah, that little jutting out spot. That's right where we left off. We'll go a little past it and do the slow turn. Hit number 4, safety first. On. Let's do this. Let's get some corn. Alright, that's not bad. I don't think we've missed any, at least. But I think we're not as time efficient as if we were driving the other one. But we're also not paying a hired worker to do this for us. So that's one less hired worker. So right now I'm only running at 2 hired workers instead of 3. I don't really think about the expenses incurred in a hired worker when they are fertilizing and seeding, because it all balances out. If you have a hired worker, it doesn't use gas, fertilizer, or seeds. It just automatically deducts the money for those items from your bank account. When you're doing it yourself, when the gas tank gets low, you've got to go and pay for all that gas and completely fill it back up. Same thing with the seeder. You run out of seeds, eventually you have to run back to your own farm and buy more seeds. Fertilizer, same deal. But those costs, I don't think there's an additional fee for having the hired worker buy gas, seeds, and fertilizer for you. I think it's all the same. That's my understanding anyway. So there's no additional expense there. It's going to be all the same. So I don't really count that as an expense of using the hired worker, because you would have had to pay for it anyway. You just would have paid for it in bigger chunks all at once. You know, you'd pay for how much gas that vehicle could hold instead of paying for it as you used each gallon. Which kind of makes sense. Oh, it's getting full. Halfway full. I like looking in the storage of this because you can actually see that back window fill up. And it fills up pretty quick. That fill animation is definitely a lot faster than the one with the tipper, but then again, their cargo capacities are much different too, so that sort of makes sense to me. If I go right here, will it still get that piece? No. It won't. And I'm not leaving that there. That looks ugly. You harvest that. Get it. Get that corn. We paid for those seeds. Better harvest that corn. There we go. So I think this method with me running the harvester is definitely much more cost effective, but you're trading that for being time effective. You're much better with your time if you're running the tipper like I typically do, because one of the things I really love about it, and one of the reasons I bought this case, is that the case fills up relatively slowly compared to the other harvesters that we had as options. So compared to those, this thing has a pretty large internal storage. So we don't have to... So what I love best about it is when the tipper fills up and I'm running back to the silos to dump it off, typically the harvester can just keep on going. And most of the time, if the field isn't too far away, I can usually get back to the harvester before it's completely full again. Now that's not the case when I'm up there doing field 2, because it's just so far away and running back to the silos just takes so long that I can't really make it in time. Oh, we're full again. Let's go run these back. We didn't quite make it to halfway, did we? I wonder why that filled up faster than... It felt like that time it filled up faster than before. I don't know. Maybe I missed one. Maybe I should have unloaded once and drove right past it. That could have been it too. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, just talking too much. But that's okay. We're getting pretty close actually now. The end is in sight. We're getting closer to the farm. Oh, that tipper's getting full. Definitely getting full. Yeah, we might have to go unload that. Yep. So my thought was it was probably going to be 1.5 more trips back to the silos for the rest of this field. I'm a little worried about that estimate now. A little worried if it's going to be 2 or more trips. 2.5 or something. I don't know. You get a lot of productivity out of corn. Let's turn on. Let's go speed 4. Let's go do this. So when you are, for those of you that play this game, I'm a little curious. Do you prefer to be more time efficient or more cost efficient when you're running your farm? Would you rather run the harvester yourself and save on the hired worker costs, or would you rather run the tipper and save yourself time? For example, I mean, this is a great example. Right now, I would probably be driving in that tipper, taking it to those silos over there. Now, at this rate, I can't do 2 things at once, so I've just got to keep driving this guy. And then at some point, I have to decide, okay, when do we take that over there now? Because I have to stop harvesting to be able to do that, and that's confusing. I don't know, so which method do you prefer? Time efficiency or cost efficiency? I'd be curious to know how you guys do it. I'm gonna go ahead and rehire that guy. And we're gonna run over here, check our capacity. Yeah, 94% full. This needs dropped off. See, so right now I can do both things all at once, and I love it. Got the beacon on, safety first. Oh, we didn't quite catch up to him in time. He's gonna make the turn. Yeah, he's gonna make the turn. Oh, sorry, I'm in the way, I'm in the way, I'm in the way. Go, go, go. You do your thing. I'll circle around. There we go. And can you top me off? I've only got a little bit more room, but you can fill it up. Whoa, if I can drive straight. There we go, awful, thanks. Thanks so much. And let's take this back, and let's watch our silo fill up more. What are we doing? Corn? Corn, yep, okay, so almost 140. We'll be like, what, 190 after this is done. It's going to take a lot of trips to offload this when we go to sell this all. Now my general strategy, I know I've discussed this before, my general strategy is to stockpile until there is a great demand, or I really have something I absolutely need to buy. Well, in this case, I'm trying to buy something, so I'm probably not going to be waiting for a great demand. Probably definitely going to be buying that wind. So I'm hoping it's kind of the answer to our problems. Not that we have, okay, maybe that's the wrong way to say it. We don't really have problems per se. There's no fundamental issues with this farm. But what there is I have concerns over how much we spend during harvest time. Harvest time is very expensive for us, mostly just from our labor costs. Well, that was almost full too. Well, we got back here just in time, didn't we? Alright, you can go ahead and finish offloading. Be almost empty. Aerial view, almost empty, and empty. There we go. That's it. Go, make your turn. Let's get to it. Come on, Fred. Drive that tractor. Alright, and so that was 22%. So the hired worker basically filled this with 10,000 corn. Well, we were literally doing something else. We were just driving and offloading other corn. So my personal opinion is there's plenty of ways to make money in this game, plenty of ways to be productive, plenty of ways to make lots of profit. I don't really see a point in trying to skimp money here and there just by like driving the combine yourself. I don't really see the point. It doesn't seem practical to me. So if we could just finish up this field, we'll be ready to move along with our lives. The next task is going to be to take all of this to market, and that's going to be quite several, lots of loads. Going to be several loads for us because our tipper isn't gigantic, and we don't really want to buy equipment right now, not until we've got our wind turbine situation solved. So I'm probably going to finish up this field, and then yeah, I'll fast forward through that. I'll see you guys in a minute. And here we are, completing our very last row of our very last field of this harvest. Excellent. This is definitely the largest harvest we've done because this is our first time with a new field. What number was that, 5? Yeah, field 5, this was its first time. So that makes this our largest harvest so far. We've got our, we should have over here, I thought we had started a seeder. Sorry, trying to zoom past that tree. Yeah, we do. We've got our seeder going on over there. And then we'll just need to make one slight correction to field 10. Let's get over to this guy. Yeah. This guy. So he, safety first. They don't like to notice this little outcropping over here, so we need to get him going again. He's got the bulk of field 10 done. We just missed this little portion over here. It kind of juts out. These weird shaped fields are definitely kind of a pain to work with, but it's extra, you know, usable ground, so we're going to use it. There we go. We just need him to finish that last little bit over there. And you're still working. So we did have to take one tipper full of corn while we were completing up that field off camera. I did do one. And so here we're going to get our final statistics for this harvest. Let's see how well we did. So that brings the corn up to 250. Okay. Well, this is going to take some work next episode to, yeah, to sell all this. But that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have, is to have a lot of crops to sell. That's not a bad problem at all. And we also have the advantage of we don't have to use this corn header on the next harvest. I guess that's good and bad, because the corn does sell pretty well, considering how much volume we get for it. I really can't complain. I caught the corner of that tree while I was trying to turn. Just trying to sneak past it. There we go. So the corn header is really small in comparison to our other header, so I am kind of excited we don't have to use it during the next harvest. So let's go ahead and go in here, drop it off, lower, there we go, and detach. Okay, there you go. Now you can just hang back there. We won't need you at all this next round. And I'm going to clean up my error. So the last time I was trying to come in here, well, the last time I was smart enough to do it off camera, but let's see how well we can do this time. This header got stuck in a wall when we were trying to do a big U-turn inside of that barn. Let's see if we can do a little better job. Because I know we need to move this. Considering how much we're going to be in and out of those silos right there during the next episode, I want to clear myself a path. So let's get this guy inside the barn. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, much better idea. I have a much better idea. Forget all that. So during our next harvest, we're actually going to need this header. So why don't we go ahead and put it on, and then park the whole beast inside that barn. Yeah, that's better. So let's fold it up. Get those wheels out of the way. And let's take this monster and just put her right into this barn. Alright. See, that's better. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Weird turn. Weird turn. There we go. Alright, and you can park somewhere around there. That's fine. Totally fine. How you doing? You're almost wrapped up this job. Good work. Keep it up. guy's empty. We've got our grass grown down here on field 20, so that means that's something else we've got to do is go ahead and get some more silage now that that grass is ready. But that'll pretty much wrap it up for this episode and this harvest. One more look at everything we were able to get this last harvest. Canola is on every field for next harvest, so we should be able to get tons of it next time. Everybody, thanks for watching. This has been Overquake playing Farming Simulator 2013. Everybody have a great day.